We've got a shocking new update from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. So the very quick background is that on September 2nd, the U.S. military struck a boat off the coast of Trinidad, and after the first missile hit, 2 survivors were spotted clinging onto the burning wreckage. According to the Washington Post, Hegseth had given a verbal order to kill everybody, and so a Special Operations Commander, Mitch Bradley, ordered a second strike to fulfill that directive. Those 2 people were blown apart in the water. 11 people total were killed. So just to be clear about what we're talking about here, the first missile disabled the boat and killed 9 people. Then, while 2 survivors were helpless, clinging on to the wreckage, unable to pose any threat whatsoever, the military fired a second missile to finish them off, which would constitute a war crime. Republican Senator Rand Paul made that point on Twitter. Quote, "It is not permitted under the laws and customs of honorable warfare to order that no quarter be given to apply lethal force to those who surrender or who are injured, shipwrecked, or otherwise unable to fight." And now Senators Roger Wicker and Jack Reed issued a joint statement vowing to conduct vigorous oversight on Caribbean strikes after the report surfaced that Hegseth ordered the military to kill everybody aboard the vessel. In the House, Representatives Mike Rogers, the Republican chair of the House Armed Services Committee, and Adam Smith, the top Democrat, said in a joint statement that they're taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation as well. All of which is to say, clearly, Pete Hegseth can see that this is a major problem, which is why he pulled a cunning little trick to protect himself. He took to Twitter writing, "Let's make one thing crystal clear. Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero, a true professional, and has my 100% support. I stand by him and the combat decisions he made on the September 2nd mission and all others since. America is fortunate to have such men protecting us. When this Department of War says we have the backs of our warriors, we mean it." Do you see what he's doing? Throwing Mitch Bradley under the bus while pretending to compliment him? Mitch Bradley's unilateral decision to commit a war crime is something that I support 100% because I've got the backs of my men. But to be clear, it was his decision, not mine, which I support, but I didn't commit. The only thing more transparent than what Hegseth is doing is the shamelessness with which he says that the Department of War has the backs of its warriors as he throws those warriors under the bus to protect the former Weekend Fox anchor heading the agency and cosplaying as a warrior himself. And this wasn't a one-off. Here is Hegseth again at today's cabinet meeting, reiterating those claims.
And I will just end by saying, as President Trump always has our back, we always have the back of our commanders who are making decisions in difficult situations, and we do in this case and all these strikes. They're making judgment calls and ensuring that they defend the American people. They've done the right things. We'll keep doing that, and we have their backs, Mr. President.
Good job. Thank you very much.
That's right. Hegseth has their back, which faces him right as he pushes it under the bus. He continued,
We're proud to do it.
So you didn't see any survivors, to be clear, after that first strike? You personally?
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded in fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices or up on Capitol Hill and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington Post about kill everybody, phrases on anonymous sources not based in anything, not based in any truth at all. And then you want to throw out really irresponsible terms about American heroes, about the judgment that they made. I wrote a whole book on this topic because of what politicians and the press does to warfighters.
That's right, it's called the fog of war. You all have no idea what it's like in the trenches, getting bodies torn up by bullets, trying to narrowly escape bombs, choking on the fumes and gas in the air. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Oh, it was carried out at Fort Bragg? Well, maybe it was foggy in North Carolina that day. Who can really say? Also, from your air-conditioned offices? I'm sorry, but is Pete Hegseth working from the rice paddies in Southeast Asia? He's in the same office that these people are in. They're all in air-conditioned offices. Before this, Hegseth was a Fox host. He did hair and makeup every day. If this guy had any less self-awareness, he would get surprised by his own reflection in a mirror. And of course, if you're wondering why Pete Hegseth feels emboldened to act in such a chicken shit manner, it's because he is led by this guy.
Mr. President, thank you so much for taking questions with your assembled cabinet. I wanted to clarify something that you had said on Sunday regarding the boat strikes near Venezuela. You had said that you didn't know if the second strike on that one boat had happened, but you wouldn't have wanted it. Now that your administration has acknowledged that it happened, do you support that second strike? And Mr. Secretary, I wanted to clarify something you had said in an interview back in September, I believe on Fox News. You said that you had watched that strike live on television. In real time, did you know that there were survivors after the initial strike?
Well, look, all I know is this. Every boat that you see get blown up, we save 25,000 on average lives, 25,000 lives. They've been sending enough of this horrible fentanyl and other things like cocaine and other things, but fentanyl right now is the leader of the pack, to kill our entire nation, because a little speck on the head of a pin can kill somebody. It's very dangerous stuff. I know so many people where their sons were drug addicts. They had one little sample and they died. They died. They couldn't believe it. As far as the attack is concerned, I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. But to me, it was an attack. It wasn't one strike, two strikes, three strikes. Somebody asked me a question about the second strike. I didn't know about the second strike. I didn't know anything about people. I wasn't involved in it. I knew they took out a boat. But I would say this, they had a strike. I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary. He's an extraordinary person. I'll let Pete speak about him. But Pete was satisfied. Pete didn't know about second attack having to do with two people. I guess Pete would have to speak to it. I can say this, I want those boats taken out. And if we have to, we'll attack on land also, just like we attack on sea. And there's very little coming in by sea. I think we've knocked out over 90% of it. There's very little, and I understand that. There's very little. We're saving hundreds of thousands of lives with those pinpoint attacks.
Yeah, real beacon of integrity here. A 2-minute screed by the President of the United States offering every excuse in the book for why committing a war crime is okay. Although what's interesting is that even Trump found a way to diffuse responsibility off of himself, making sure to say, quote, "I still have not gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. I wasn't involved." I mean, my God, you could not find a more self-serving bunch of people on earth if you tried. Every single one of these self-important prick narcissists are out for themselves, protecting themselves, and falling over themselves to throw the next guy under the bus. So look, I don't know what Mitch Bradley's politics are, but I'm sure it's not lost on him that he is currently being offered up as bait so that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth can keep their jobs in their air-conditioned offices. So if he's looking to protect himself from accusations of committing a war crime, now would be a good time to speak up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.